Good morning. Hi, I'm Linda. I'm going to just kind of turn my head here. Wait till everybody gets on because I've got the camera set the way I want it. So I'll just stay on here for a second until everybody starts coming on. So everyone that doesn't know, Mary is at her church today getting ready for the bazaar tomorrow, their fall festival. And so she is really busy, and so I'm doing the cooking today by myself. So I'll give it just a second and see if I can get everybody on. But I've been kind of juning around this morning. Good morning, everybody. I've been juning around this morning trying to, I wanted to kind of wipe my stove off a little bit and clean under the inside of the top. And this little brush right here, y'all may not think this little brush is much. It's two sides, but I'm telling you, this is amazing to clean around those hard little cracks and crevices that you can't get under. Of course, this lifts up, but I just got through cleaning my microwave door with it. I've cleaned all around here with it. I've cleaned my panel. So this is something that I keep in my top drawer right here in my utility drawer, and it's amazing. And I'm going to say this again before the end of the program, but I'm going to go live immediately on my Pampered Chef page after this is over. Maybe 5 minutes or so is to get my stuff set up. So if y'all want to watch on there, I'm going to be showing you some items on there. So anyway, of course, I miss Mary. I miss my sister this morning, and I know I'm way too close to this, but I don't want to move this camera any more than I have to. So anyway, she's busy, and she'd be here if she could, but she can't. So we are cooking, or I am cooking, homemade vegetable beef soup this morning. And I want to show y'all what I've got done, and then I'm going to get something started here, and then I'm going to move back over to the counter. So I think that you can see this. This is my 9-quart pot, and y'all know these handles don't get hot. Mike is funny. He came in here and told me, because this is his recipe. He's made this for, oh my goodness, ever since we've been married, he's made this recipe. And he said, now tell them all vegetables aren't created equal. So some vegetables take longer to cook than others. So I sliced my carrots and onions pretty thin, but I went ahead and got these kind of pretty much cooked, not completely cooked, but I've got these in here. And it's in pure beef broth. It's from where I cooked the roast. So I guess I'll tell you first of all, I cooked about a 3-pound roast last night in the quick cooker. I used some beef broth in it. I always use beef broth when I'm cooking a roast. And I cooked that after it cooled. And I, of course, put it in the refrigerator. And this is the broth from that. I strained it, took all the fat off, and got that started with my carrots and onions. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of my other ingredients in and turn the burner up just a little. I've just had this on 3. And then we'll add the potatoes and the, well, we're going to add the potatoes last. We're going to add the mixed vegetables. I'm going to shred the meat over there, so I'll do that. But I'm going to go ahead and get this started. And using V8 juice. If you don't like V8, you can use tomato juice. This is a tomato-based recipe. So if some of you don't like tomato-based and you just want it all beef broth, just do it all beef broth. This is just how we do it. But I will tell you, if you haven't tried it like this, it is absolutely delicious. So, and I've got a can of tomatoes here. I've already got out of the can in here. I haven't added any salt to this because I had salt in my roast, and we can always check it for seasoning later to see if it needs any more, but right now I'm not going to put any more in it. So I've got this open. I'm just going to shake this up to get all that good stuff out of the bottom. And I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to get my frozen vegetables out and put it in here. Now this pot is not going to be full, but I wanted to use the big one because I'm going to be making something else in the 5-quart a little bit later on when we get through. But it's going to be plenty enough for at least 2 days worth of meals. So I'm going to get this started here. Now that V8 juice has got lots of good vegetables in it. And you'll see that it's, it's tomato based. So it's going to be It's going to be red. I've got that turned up to medium. I'm going to turn it up just a pinch and see if I can get it cooking, and then I'll put my get my frozen vegetables out of the freezer and get those ready to go in there. And let's see, let me show you my potatoes. I'll move those. I'll go ahead and move that. Now y'all know there's one person, so I'm going to have to walk away from the camera, so y'all bear with me. Oh, and I want to thank Carla. Carla is on the other end helping me out, and little Linda is still sick with her sinus infection, so we miss her and we miss Mary, but I appreciate Carla being on here and helping me out. So I will be right back to the camera. Give me just a second. So I have cut up 2 potatoes, and I just put some water in my big stainless steel bowl, and I used this colander that goes with this pot here, and that way it drained the water out of them really good. I cut the potatoes up in pretty big chunks because potatoes will fall apart, and these aren't yellow gold, so they don't tend to hold their shape quite as well as yellow gold does, but I didn't have any yellow gold, so I used what I had. So I'm going to get that started, then I'm going to grab the vegetables out of the freezer, and then once we get this going, then I'm going to move back over there, and we're going to get the meat ready to, I don't like any fat or any little pieces of stuff that's not good, so I go through the meat and shred it and make sure that all of that stuff's out that I don't like. This is just a store brand bag of mixed vegetables. It's a very small bag, but it's actually as big as the bird's eye bags. It's just smaller in packaging. I'm gonna open this up. And this has got corn, carrots, green beans, peas. I think that's all that's in this. Now, you can get a lot of different mixed vegetables. There's some vegetables that we are not as crazy about as some people might be. Y'all know I have a very simple palate, and there's things that Mike doesn't like, and pretty much I don't either. So we don't put anything in our soup that we don't like. If y'all want to put other things in it, feel free to, but this is how we make it. So it's really pretty, really pretty color. So I'm just going to set this here. Hopefully this pot will get boiling pretty quick. When we get this started and we get everything going, I'm going to be making something, a little bonus for y'all today. While this is cooking, I'm going to be making some cranberry sauce. And we've kind of done a little bit of cranberry sauce before, but this is just going to be like a little extra thing that we're going to throw in here for some of you that might not have seen it, or might not have been following us in, might not have been watching us in. Anyway, I need some for next week, so I thought this would be a good time to go ahead and make it. So I'm going to get that started in just a few minutes. And it's so easy to make. It just doesn't take any time to make it. If you don't like the canned cranberry sauce, go pick you up a couple of bags in the store. They're in season right now, and you'll be able to make it just watching me make it here today. It's just really, really simple. Okay, we're getting pretty close to this starting to boil here. And I think I told y'all this colander goes with this pot, but it's nice to drain vegetables off of, so that's why I used it over there a minute ago. And I want to tell y'all something funny. Back years ago when, before Mike and I got married, he asked me to make him some vegetable soup. And I probably asked him, was there something you'd like to eat? And he told me to make him some vegetable soup. So I said, okay, I can do that. So I made a big thing of vegetable soup and took it to him. And he started eating, and he's like, where's the meat at, Linda? And I said, you didn't say you wanted vegetable beef soup. You told me you wanted vegetable soup, and I didn't put any meat in it. But I know now, after that time, if he says vegetable soup, he wants meat in it. So this is just what we've got here. It's just a shoulder roast. And roast are kind of expensive right now, so we buy them when they're on sale. If we have freezer space, I'll buy 2 or 3 and put in there. If we don't, then I buy what I can for what I've got room for. And yeah, Mary's at the church today working, and she really hated to miss, but she had to be over there. She had to set up. Okay, this recipe is not in the cookbook. I don't think it is. And for some of our new followers, a lot of the recipes that we make are in the cookbook. Some of them are not, or the new ones that we're making since October, most of them are not in the cookbook. Very few of them are. So this cookbook, we did this a few years ago. So we're trying to give you new recipes. When I say new, they're not new, but they're not in our cookbook. So yeah, and the cookware is Pampered Chef, and I'm sure most of you that follow us know that, but this is what the big thing that I love about this is these handles don't get hot. Now, you touch that pot and it's going to burn you, but the handles don't get hot, and I love that about this cookware. Okay, I think we've got it starting to boil now since I put the lid on it. I'm going to give it just a second to make sure it's a full boil. If a recipe says bring something to a full rolling boil, B-O-I-L, I know y'all laugh at my accent, it means a boil that you can't stir down. So if you're boiling something, it just comes to a boil, it's not a full rolling boil. So keep that in mind if you ever see a recipe that says that. And it's kind of funny about recipes, old recipes from old books. You know, it'll say, and some of our recipes in our cookbook, it'll say like a pint, or there might be some recipes in there that say oleo, you know, and that's margarine, and I don't even buy margarine. I hadn't bought margarine in years. I buy butter. That's what I cook with, is real butter. But different recipes back in the day, they were different than what we say today as far as measurements and everything. So okay, let's see, I was trying to see if there was anything else here. Right, no, Mike would, if there's one little tiny piece of fat or gristle in something, he's going to find it. And that's why I'm very particular about, and I don't like fat either, but that's why I'm very particular about going through the meat. And what's in the pot is I strained my broth from where I cooked the roast in the quick cooker, Pampered Chef quick cooker. And then I started that, and I have chopped onion. It's chopped pretty fine. And I have 3 diced carrots in it. I did that first because I wanted those to be, I didn't want them to be crunchy, because it doesn't take long for the potatoes to cook. And for those of you who don't know, my husband is private. He doesn't like being on camera, so he doesn't come in here while I'm filming or while me and Mary are filming. He helps us in the background, but he's not a camera person, so that's why he doesn't like to come in here. Okay, we got a full rolling boil here, and if you can see that, it's just boiling away. So I'm going to put the frozen vegetables in. I'm going to put all those in there, the whole bag. And then I'm going to put my tomatoes in there. And y'all, I'm real particular about stuff. I make sure there are no cores in there, no pieces of peeling. Now, I know everybody is not as particular as I am, but I don't want to get a piece of peeling or a hard core in my mouth. So I go through the tomatoes. And I know some people laugh at me for doing that, but that's what I do. That's what I've always done, and I don't think that's going to change. So let me get this stirred here. It's really, really beautiful. It's such rich, pretty colors, and I don't know if y'all can see that, but all those gorgeous colors. And then I'm going to, whoops, there's something I see that I don't particularly like. It looks like a string or something. Oh, okay. It was just tomatoes. It was just one big piece that kind of hadn't broke up yet. So I'm going to add my potatoes in there. And then we're going to move the camera over to the counter. And another thing I like about this colander, it collapses, so it doesn't take up much space. it collapses flat. I didn't take it all the way down, but it goes completely flat like that. So, of course, that's got to be washed, but I'm going to move this over here. And I'll show y'all this again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add some pepper to it now, but you can see that it's probably about, it's a little over half full. And time I get the meat in there, it's going to be probably about 2/3 full. I'm going to add some black pepper in here. I'm not going to put any salt in it because I want to taste of that before I add any salt, because I don't want to get it too salty. That is gorgeous. It's so pretty. Okay, we're going to let this cook a little while. Let me get my stove wiped up. It's hard keeping a stove clean, and I do not like my stove to get dirty. It's white, and sometimes a white stove shows a lot of stuff, but I do my best to try to keep it clean. Wash my hands real good because I'm fixing to go over there and handle the meat, and I want to make sure that and I'll just get a paper towel to move this. So I'm going to turn this burner down to medium because I don't want it to overcook. We like texture. We don't like raw vegetables, but we like texture. We don't like mush. So let's see if I can get this right, since I don't have Mary here to help me. Okay, I think that's good. This is a clean cloth here. Okay, so this is my roast, and this is a whole roast other than a little bit that I made a sandwich with this morning. So you'll see that it's got a little bit of fat and stuff on it. I probably should grab a knife just in case I need it. My daddy was so particular, and Mama was too, but my daddy was so particular about cleanliness. I mean, they taught us that you're going to be working in the kitchen. You need to keep things clean, and you need to be clean. So I'm just going to kind of take this apart and shred it and put my little giblets that I don't want over there. And it doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason, just, you know, I'm just taking the fat and gristle out. It was a pretty nice roast, so there's not a lot of waste in it. And this roast is so good cooked in that quick cooker. It's just amazing what they've done to come up with gadgets that are so easy to use and so different than what we grew up with. Terrified of pressure cookers, literally terrified of them. I haven't ever used a real pressure cooker in my adult life. Now, we had one time when we lived in Kilgore on 322 years ago. Mama come to the house, and she had bought one at the Goodwill, I think. And it was a very nice looking pressure cooker. And that it wasn't a big one. And that's why she bought it, because she knew when she looked at it that somebody had just messed up the little thing that holds the gauge on it. So she bought a new gauge. This was hilarious. She bought a new gauge, but she forgot to check to see if that little thing was stopped up. And we had a really pretty kitchen. It was a really nice, it was almost a brand new house. And that thing blew out of there. It just scared us all to death. It didn't blow a hole in the ceiling, but it blew that little thing out because she forgot. And Mama was so mad at herself because she forgot to check to make sure that it was not stopped up. And that's why the people had gotten rid of it, because it was stopped up and it didn't work. But anyway, we used it after then, or she did. She took it back home with her. I didn't keep it. But it was really funny because Mama, you know, she was used to the old school stuff and I wasn't. But other than seeing them cook on it, being scared to death of it. But I've never wanted one. So when they come out with the electric ones, I was a little bit, you know, I'm not sure how this is going to work. And we got a Cuisinart and we used it. I used it for quite a bit, but about every other time I used it, it didn't build up the pressure. And this was a Cuisinart. It was, you know, it was not a cheap small appliance. And so you'd have to go back in, start it over, and I did that until I just got tired of fooling with it. And then when I first got my Pampered Chef one, I could not believe how easy it was to use. And never one time have I ever had to start it over. It's always worked every time. So I'm totally sold on it. Okay, I'm gonna get this meat done here a little bit quicker. See all this stuff here? I just pull that off. I don't want that in my soup. It is windy here today. The wind's blowing. It's blowing out of the north. It come a little cold front through last night. And our carport doesn't have the same roof on it that our house does. It's not tin, but it's, I don't know what it is. But anyway, when those acorns hit that carport roof, it sounds like somebody's out there doing target practice. It just, and we've lived here for years, but it always, this time of year, when them acorns start hitting the carport, it sounds like little missiles going off. And Mike has raked leaves and raked leaves. He went out there this morning, swept the carport off. 5 minutes, it was full of leaves again. There was just leaves everywhere. We have a lot of trees. Okay, almost got this done. And I'm gonna put all this in there. You know, I could save some of it out for a sandwich, but I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and put it all in the soup. And y'all know I can't read and do this too, so I'm not going to be able to answer any questions unless I get over there in a few minutes when I get started on that other and I'm able to look. So our question and answer session today might not happen. I do want to remind y'all, if y'all are wondering why that you haven't been notified when we come on live, I always create the events. I usually create them over the weekend for the next week. And if you don't have your notifications on, or if you're not getting notified that we're on live, make sure that you are liking when we're on, liking our page. Make sure you comment. I don't know if this is true or not, but we were told by 2 different sources that if you don't like and comment, then you are not notified. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but we want to make sure that everybody that wants to know when we're on, that y'all are at least have a chance to be notified. And also, I know that I say this not every time we're on, but I say it a lot. There are at least 3 other groups out there that have our name on it, that take our videos and post them as theirs. They're groups, and you have to join them. That is not our group. It's our videos that they've taken. So if you are in one of those groups on Facebook, please leave it, because they're getting thousands of people watching our videos that we work very hard to produce, and they're going to profit off of it. So if you're in a Pinky Malls group on Facebook and you see me and Mary on there doing videos, please leave that group. Our page is public. It's always been public. And it's just a shame that, you know, that people do that, but they do. And I don't want to dwell on that, but I just want to remind y'all, this morning, when I was looking through, I noticed there was several of our friends that were in those groups. And I know y'all don't know it, and that's why I try to remind y'all, you know, not to do that, because as much as I'd like to say not, there are ruthless people in the world, and people that aren't honest. So anyway, just make sure you're on our page. You can go to our website, and if you're not sure if you're on the right page, you can go to our website, www.pinkymallskitchen.com. There are no spaces. It's all small letters. www.pinkymallskitchen.com. Scroll down and you'll see the icon, the Facebook icon. It's a little blue square with an F like Faye in the middle. And if you touch that, it will take you straight to our Facebook page. Also the same with Instagram and with YouTube. If you touch their icon, it will take you straight to our page. So I appreciate that if y'all would, make sure that if you have any doubt, just that's a good way to know that you're on the right page. And we are having Thanksgiving here next week. We're not sure yet who all's going to be here, but Mary and hopefully little Linda will be feeling good by next week, or faster than then. I sure hope she does. We've been praying for her. And her kids, her boys, and Chuck, and of course Mary. And we think Carla and maybe Carla's youngest daughter and her family are going to be here. We're not sure about anybody else, but we'll have several here. And just like always, we start with the menu, and we always add to it before it's over and done with. That's just how we do. That's how Mary and I do. So we were going to have a ham and not have a turkey. And then I go to Brookshire's the other day. You buy a ham, you get a turkey free. So I'm going to be cooking a turkey too. So we're going to have ham and turkey, and we're going to have cornbread dressing. That's what we make, is cornbread dressing. We'll have homemade cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes and giblet gravy, and a corn casserole, and probably some, we may do fresh purple whole peas or butter beans. I'm not sure, but we'll have some kind of peas or beans. And we're going to have some rolls, and I'll make some sweet tea, and then we're going to have a coconut pound cake, the one that we made Monday. I put that in the freezer yesterday, so that we're going to have that for dessert. I think Mary's going to make a pie, and I may have one more dessert. We're not going to go overboard on desserts, but I'm probably going to make a sweet potato pie, and Mary may make a cream pie or something. So, and we'll have something to snack on so people won't get too hungry while we're waiting on our meal. But see, I almost missed that, and that's a piece of gristle, and that's not something you want in your soup. I think I've got just about everything, and this is a lot of meat, but it's a big bowl of soup. So I'm going to wash my hands real quick and move this over here. And then we'll put this in the soup. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera in just a second. I think y'all can see that. I don't think you need to see me, but you can see how much good meat that is. And my pot is, y'all can see it's boiling. Isn't that beautiful? This is really, really pretty soup. And I'm just going to add my meat. Get this all out of the way. This is really beautiful. So you don't want to cook your soup to where it's mush and where it's cooked all to pieces. What we usually do when we get it done, we go ahead and take it off the burner so it won't keep cooking, and let it start the cooling process. Mike sometimes even empties it into a bowl so it can start cooling. And then when we want a bowl, then we just, if it needs to be heated in the microwave, we just stick it in the microwave and heat it up. So we're going to let this cook a little bit. And then I'm going to start the cranberry sauce. And I'm going to show you my cranberries. And I'm going to move the camera over there. But this is 2 packages of cranberries. And I've washed them. I've got them in my big colander basket. And I'm going to get this pot hot over here. I'm going to move my stuff around just a little bit. I'm going to put the lid on that. And now these boilers, these titanium boilers, it takes a little while to takes a minute for these to heat up. Let's see. I don't really care about y'all seeing me. I don't care for you seeing me, but I know y'all want to see the food. So I'm going to try to keep this to where y'all can see the food and not necessarily my face. So y'all know what I look like, so you don't have to worry about that. But I'm going to turn this burner up. Takes just a minute to get this hot. And this is the 5 1/4 quart pot that goes to the basic cookware, and it has the same handles on it as that. And as soon as I get this hot, I'm going to put my cranberries in there. And then I've got water and sugar. Well, I haven't got the sugar measured, but I've got water and sugar. I'm going to use Cinnamon Plus. And the reason I'm doing this is to keep from adding a couple of other spices to it, because this has allspice, cloves, nutmeg, ginger. It has orange peel, and it also has the Cranberry cinnamon. If you don't like the other things that's in it, just use regular cinnamon. It just gives it a little bit of to it. And I'm also going to use, these are small oranges. So I'm going to use a couple of oranges. I've got to cut these. I've already washed them. I got to cut these, and we're going to squeeze it in there and let it cook in this. And it doesn't take long at all to make this. Mike likes his jailed, so I'm going to make 2 different kinds. But today, all I'm making is the whole berries. So it's so fun to listen to this cook. It pops, and it's just so fun to do that. So it's, to me, if you want cranberry sauce, it's so much easier to make it than it is just buy it. Hi, Claire Gordon. I think that's Claire. I think that's Scotty's daughter. I'm not sure, but I think it's, unless we have another Claire Gordon, some of our friends in Mississippi. So give me just a second. My boiler's getting hot. So I'm going to go ahead and add my cranberries. Now these aren't as big as some cranberries as y'all in the Northeast probably where they have the cranberry bogs are, but this is what we get here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour those in there, get this out of the way. And like I said, I'm going to be making another batch, but I'm making this double batch here, and then I'll make another batch that I do with just jail. You can hear that it's already started cooking, so I'm going to put my sugar in there. I guess I should add the water first. I'm not using a whole lot of water because the cranberries have a lot of water in them. So, I'm going to get me a knife here. And I'll see my messy cabinet. I use just a bit of flaked sea salt. I'm just going to put just a pinch in there. It just kind of helps bring out the flavor. And if y'all want to know what kind that is, that's Pacific Blue. That's what I use. It doesn't matter what brand you use, but that's just what I've used for a long time. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of dashes of the Cinnamon Plus. I don't want much. I just want a little. just a couple of dashes is all I want. And let me grab a knife to cut that orange with. I can tell you that I know Mary's having a good time doing what she's doing, but she is probably really missing being on here. She likes to be with me when I'm cooking, and I like to be with her when she's cooking. We're just better together. So I'm cutting the ends off of the oranges, and I'm going to cut them in half. You don't really need to cut them in fours because they're going to cook down in there, and I'm just going to squeeze the orange juice in here. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. If this was a really big, nice orange, I would probably only use one. But these are not big, and they're not real juicy. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 in here. And I'm splattering orange juice all over the place. If you wanted to use orange juice in a can or in a bottle or jar or however you do it, you could do that. But I like fresh. I like fresh lemon, and I like fresh orange juice or fresh lime, whatever I'm using. And you'll see. Isn't that gorgeous? That is so pretty. My soup is boiling over here, so I'm going to turn that down. And I don't want it to cook all to pieces, so I'm going to turn that down just a bit. Now, if you want to put a cinnamon stick in here, you could do that. Instead of the cinnamon, like I said, there's lots of ways that you could do this, but this is just how I do it. I'm going to check the potatoes. Yeah, they're not done yet. So get back over here. Now, when we were growing up, Mama didn't make cranberry sauce, and she didn't buy the can. I never even ate cranberry sauce until I was a grown woman. It was just not something that we did. It's kind of like celery. You know, we didn't buy celery. We didn't use celery when I was a kid. We used what we had or what they grew, and there was just some things that Mama just didn't buy. So I'm going to get this cooking, and let me see if I can see if the pecan pie, if y'all will key in the search bar in Facebook, if y'all will key in Pinky Malls, and if you're looking for a certain video, pecan pie or cranberry sauce or, well, not cranberry sauce, but pecan pie or any of the things that we did last year, if you will type that in the search bar, there's things that are going to come up, and you should be able to find it that way instead of going back through all of the videos, because we have a lot of videos on here. The coconut cake recipe, that there's a video on it. You're going to have to look for it, because that's why we created our website, because there's 2 of us, basically. Little Linda and Carla do help, but Mary and I spent hours and hours and hours trying to get these recipes to y'all, and so we created the website, and we put the recipes on there. And for any of you that are asking where the recipes are that we've done since October the 1st, they are on our website. You do have to be a member. It's a small charge, $5.99 a month, plus whatever applicable taxes in your area. And we're very proud of this website. It is very nice. We have so much positive feedback about it. If you can't afford it, that's, you know, don't worry about it. If you can't afford it, don't do it. But we do have a lot of recipes from videos from last year, but you'll need to search for those. And if you do that, key it in that search bar, that should help you some. And also the rest of the cake that we did yesterday, the pineapple coconut cake, that is in our cookbook. And the boiled icing is also. And thank you, Elizabeth, about saying how good the soup looks. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go back and see if I see any questions that I might could answer. Mary was tired yesterday. She's about worked herself to death. She does this every year, but it'll be over. So after tomorrow evening, so hopefully she'll get to rest some then. Okay, let's see. I hope I'm not doing wrong by going down and doing like I'm doing here. We've never seen a cranberry either other than in the can. And like I said, I didn't even eat that till I was grown. Pumpkin pie. We made sweet potato pies. I don't know if we have a video on pumpkin pie or not. I'm not sure if we do. I'm not sure if Mary made some of those last year or not. I made some, but I don't think I made them on video. And okay. And y'all bear with me. I'm trying to see if there's any questions I could answer. I want to thank everyone that's watching us, whether y'all have ever bought a thing from us or y'all just watch us and support us and comment and pray for us. Mary and I both appreciate that so very much. We have people that have been with us since our first video, and we don't take that lightly. We really do appreciate your love and support. And let's see, there's somebody from Maine. Love Maine, love Bar Harbor, love Cadillac Mountain, Ellsworth, Portland. I've worked in several different Presque Isle in Maine. There's a Presque Isle, Michigan, but I think there's a Presque Isle, Maine too, because I think I've been there and worked there. Okay. And I guess everybody knows what we're making. We're making homemade vegetable beef stew, beef soup, and also the cranberry sauce. Okay, Claire Gordon, you said you're not Scotty's daughter. Well, welcome anyway. We're glad to have you, Claire. We have several people that have the same name of people that we know, so I'm glad you're watching in Indiana. I love Indiana. I've worked in Newcastle, Indianapolis, and Muncie, all in that area, and I love Indiana. I'm from California, Louisiana. We have so many different states and countries on here, and I don't want to miss anyone, and I know I can't say everybody's name, but the cinnamon that we use is the Cranberry cinnamon. It's Pampered Chef, and it's only available in the fall. And like I said, I'm going to be on my Pampered Chef page live after we get through here, and I'll give you some more information about that. I think I need to turn this soup down a little bit more. We got a good boil over here. Well, y'all can't see it because I don't have the camera turned over there. But it's gonna be ready before long. Okay, let's see if I can get this going here. Yeah, it's already starting to pop. And you see, I didn't even put a cup of water in this, and I want y'all to see how much liquid is in it. There's a lot of liquid in there. So we're just gonna kind of boil this down a little bit. And my recipe for cranberry sauce is probably a little different than most people's. I put Sure Gel in it, and I understand that it has pectin in it, and it's a natural thickener, but I also put Sure Gel in mine, and I'm going to do that just a little bit after it cooks a little bit more. Okay. And for some of y'all who don't know, Mary and I grew up cooking in the kitchen. There's 17 months apart in our age. Actually, it likes one day, her being 17 months older than me. Mama sewed, and of course she done all kinds of work, but she sewed, and one day we said, Mama, can you make us a new dress? And we had so many beautiful dresses that Mama made us, and she bought the material on sale. She always was very frugal, but we had lots of pretty dresses. And so we asked her. Mary was 9 and I was 8, and we asked her to make us a new dress. And it was nothing for Mama to make us 2 dresses each in one day. She never used a pattern. She just cut it out and sewed it. Didn't even didn't even own a bought dress until I was 16 years old. Everything I wore, my mama made it. And even after I become a grown woman, mama could fit me better than any dress I bought in any store. But she said, okay. She said, I'll make y'all some dresses, but y'all need to cook supper. So that's how we started cooking. Of course, we were around cooking all of our life. Mama, Molly, Pinky Maw, all of our aunts. But we started cooking, and I wasn't allowed to do anything with the stove because I was 8, Mary was 9. So I was real little though. And we had a gas stove, of course. We were in town, and we had a gas stove, and I was scared to death of that pilot light because she had to light the pilot light to turn the oven on. So Mary would cook the cornbread, and we'd fry potatoes and whatever, probably pork steak, whatever we were having. We would cook supper, and that's how we learned to cook. And then we graduated up, after we could cook a meal, we graduated up to Mary would start making cakes. And I know some of y'all have heard me say this before, but my job was to grease the pans. So I wasn't allowed, like I said, to use the oven. So I greased the pans, and Mary done the rest of it. And when we first started doing these videos and we done our first cake on video, Mary said, you want me to grease the pans? And I said, no, I'll grease my own pans. But we always laugh about it because it was funny. But we grew up loving to cook, watching Molly at the farm when she was cooking for 35, 40, 45 people, which most of the time was, you didn't even know they were coming. They just showed up. And, she'd get in the kitchen, and by lunchtime, she'd have a feast on the table for all of us. And so we love to cook. And Mama's grandmother, Molly's mother, Grandma Hooper, they had their own orchard. And they grew all of their fruit. And they lived in Shelby County in Texas. For those of you who don't know where we're from, Texas. And they had, at Christmas time and Thanksgiving, they had a little tiny kitchen. It was probably, I don't know, a fourth the size of this one. And they had every counter space and every nook and cranny, the pie safe, everything was full of homemade delicious pies. And I remember as a little bitty girl seeing all of that and thinking, I want to do that. I want to make those. They just, they look so good. And so we grew up just loving to cook and bake. Okay, let's see here. And we know that we can't please everybody, and we're not trying to. We do the best we can. Mary and I do. We are not financed by some big company. Every dime that we've done, put into this, other than the little bit of money that we made off the cookbooks, and of course we sell Pampered Chef, it's come out of our pocket. So up until recently, and I know that y'all know there are ads on our pages, but there's ads on everything. You can't even watch the news without going through an ad. I can't pick up my phone and look at anything. So hopefully y'all, the ones that are making comments about that, I just want everyone to know I appreciate all the nice comments and all the good things that y'all are saying. And we have so many people that love our website. So we try to not think about the negative. We try not to think about the bad comments. We try to just thank y'all for saying all the good things and letting us do what we love to do. So we've got this. This is it's ready. I'm going to put the Sure Gel in it. And so I'm going to do probably about 2 of these and kind of spread out here and then stir it. Get this thick. Need to turn this down. Let's just go into town cooking. Now Now once this gets done, I'm going to take the oranges out, and it'll cool. Once it cools, it'll get thicker. And this is going to be the cranberry sauce that's going to be whole. And then I'm going to do one that I'm going to strain and let it just be the gel. I'm going to put just a tiny bit more of this in there. Always keep Sure Gel on hand. You know, you can thicken stuff with cornstarch, all kinds of things. You can even thicken things with peanut butter. But I prefer the Sure Gel, and this is what I prefer. And this is done, so I'm just going to turn this off. And I'll let this set in there. And I'll take the orange peels out. I hope y'all can see that. And then I'm going to go over here and check my soup. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to test it for, see if it needs any. Take that off the burner. Whoops, got stuff on my stove again. I'm going to test this and see if it needs any salt or pepper in it. That is so good, but it does need a little salt. Mike is very particular about salt, so I have to be careful about what I put in there. But I'm going to put almost a teaspoon of salt in it. And that's actually the only salt I added besides what was in the roast. And y'all know potatoes absorb a lot of salt, so try it again. Yep, that's much better. I'm just going to take up a little bit. Whoop, I see a spot down there on my stove I missed. You know, in life, you can choose to be happy. Now, we all go through sad times. You can choose to be happy, or you can choose not to be happy. And we do our very best to choose to be happy, because nobody likes to be around grumpy people, and nobody likes to hear complainers all the time. So when you're thinking about life and thinking about your blessings, it makes you feel so much better to be thankful and for what you have, instead of griping about what you don't have. Mother taught us that. I mean, that was drilled into us from a very young age, and Daddy too. You be thankful for what you got. And we all have heard Molly say so many times, we all have more than what we used to have. And so I just want everyone to know how thankful that Mary and I both are, that we get to do this, that we get to do something together, that we get to interact with you wonderful people all over the world, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. And we'd love to reach out to each one of you. We'd love to hug you. We'd love to visit with you in person, because y'all have just been such a blessing to us. And I just want y'all to know that Mary and I do, that how much we appreciate your kindness and your love and support. So I'm just going to empty just a little bit of this up. I'm not ready to eat lunch right now, but I'm going to just show y'all how beautiful this is. Try to get some of everything in here. And it doesn't take long to cook this. Once you get your roast made, it's it's just a matter of getting the vegetables cooked. And if you'll cook your onions and carrots a little bit first before you add your other vegetables in, then it won't take long at all to cook it. So that's our vegetable beef soup. That's enough for at least 2 days. And it just gets better the longer it sets. I'm going to take that off the burner, put the lid back on it, and look at this again. I'm going to show y'all this one more time. Now this hasn't completely gelled yet because it's still hot, but it's going to be absolutely delicious. So once that sets and starts to gel, it will get thick. Once it starts to get cold, it will get thick. So I'm going to move over here, back over here to the thing, and I'm just going to sit here for a second and see if there are any questions that I might have missed. Y'all know I have to look, so I can't talk and look too. I'm going to see if I see anybody that's got any questions on here. There's somebody from England, from the UK. Thank y'all. I love orange and flavor and stuff too. It's that citrus just wakes up flavor and stuff. And I love orange or lemon in that. We have made a video of peanut brittle. So if you go through our videos, you should find that. The almond cream cake, I can't remember if we've done a video. I made many of them. I don't know if we did a video on it or not. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and look. Teresa Smith, do you have to refrigerate a pecan pie? If you key that in, the CDC is going to tell you yes. If you cook a pie, first of all, it's got to cool. If you're going to eat it that day or the next day, I don't refrigerate them. You can refrigerate them if you want to. It's going to be a lot harder to get out of the pan if you refrigerate them. But if you're going to make it like 3 or 4 days ahead of Thanksgiving, yeah, I would refrigerate it. But just take it out and let it come to room temperature before you serve it. It's going to be a lot easier to get out of the pan. Okay, let's see. And thank you for commenting on it being a great website. We took a long time having that made. It was professionally designed and of course costs money to have it designed, and we're real proud of it. We're not going to get rich off of it. But we're very proud of it, that it looks good, and hopefully it does what we want it to do. So and I love cooking with my sister too. I wish y'all could just sit down in my kitchen right now and everybody have a bowl of this soup. I wished you could. Whoops. Okay. Do I ever use the quick cooker for soups? The quick cooker, I wouldn't make a soup with the quick cooker. I use it to cook my meats in, and you can use the slow cooker setting on it to do soups in. If you wanted to do that, this quick cooker has 16 settings, so you can use the slow cooker to do, it's a pretty big pot. I don't even know how many quarts. Seems like it may be 6 quarts, but don't quote me on that. I mean, I'm sure people have made soup in the quick cooker. I just never have. I use it to cook my meats in, and the vegetables in the ceramic pot. If I'm going to do a roast with like potatoes and carrots or something, then I use the ceramic pot for that. If I'm going to do chicken and I want the vegetables cooked at the same time, I cook them in the ceramic pot. Okay, thank you all so much. And I'd love for y'all to be here too for Thanksgiving. Okay, it looks like I've been on an hour. I hear my clock going off, so I guess it's time for me to sign off. So I want to thank y'all all again for watching, for being patient with me, and Mary be back with me, or we'll be back together on Tuesday at her house cooking. I believe it's her house. Anyway, make sure again that you like and comment on this page, so you'll be notified when we're live. And if any of you want to watch my Pampered Chef presentation, go to my Pampered Chef page. It's gonna take me just about 10 minutes to get set up, and I'll be on live in just a few minutes on it. So I hope that as many of y'all will join me for that. So thank you again so much. Love to Mary and to Carla and to little Linda, and love to all of y'all. Be sure to be kind to people. You never know what that person's is going through. You don't know if it'll be the last time you see them or talk to them again. And don't say something harsh or rude and then have regrets. Life is too short for regrets. So count your blessings. Join us again live on Tuesday. And hopefully y'all can join me again in just a few minutes. So love y'all and hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.